Now, more royal health woes as Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, has announced that she's being treated for an aggressive form of skin cancer. That's just 6 months after having a mastectomy for breast cancer. This, of course, comes as King Charles is heading to hospital for treatment for his prostate this week. And Kate, the Princess of Wales, still recuperating for 2 weeks in hospital, we understand, after serious abdominal surgery. Well, joining me right now is the author of, well, the biggest royal book of the year, Charles III, New King, New Court, The Inside Story. That is, of course, Robert Hardman. Good morning to you, Robert.
Good morning, Julia.
Good morning. We're desperate to get you on the show to talk about this. About your new book. But, of course, the royal stories keep on coming. And I had said to you, I think, last week, oh, let's talk about this ridiculous award that Prince Harry's got for, I don't know, flying a helicopter and this nonsense that he's going through. But actually, royal health woes back home have kind of taken centre stage, haven't they? What is the latest with Sarah Ferguson?
Well, I mean, obviously, we wish her well. She's undergoing treatment. I mean, I know no more than you or anyone else. You know, some things are sort of private. We know she's obviously she had a mastectomy last year and now is undergoing further treatment. We know the King's going to hospital this week and put out that rather remarkable statement last week, outlining why he's going to hospital. And I think what we are seeing at the moment is this greater degree of transparency. It's sort of there has been a sort of tonal shift in the way that the palace is now dealing with the media. And so we were told more than I think we would have expected about the condition of the Princess of Wales, certainly more than we expected about the condition of the King. I never thought I'd see the words enlarged prostate in a statement,
but how much of this is
because
them wanting to sort of promote? Because there isn't anything when anyone famous, whether royal or a celebrity, has treatment for, or very sadly, in some cases, some celebrity dies of a disease that people can get checks for. It does encourage people to come forward, and the King has been praised for coming forward on prostate cancer, and Sarah Ferguson over being open about breast cancer. But I wonder, particularly in the case of the King and Kate, they do public duties, and both the King, Kate, and also the Prince of Wales, Prince William, also now out of action because he's looking after the kids while Kate is recuperating. That actually you can't hide this stuff in the age of social media. You haven't got a load of newspapers who would just quietly just not mention what's going on. There's going to be speculation. It's better for them to get ahead of the story. But that argument doesn't really hold for Sarah Ferguson because she's not in the public eye. With all due respect to Sarah Ferguson, I wish her well. We wouldn't notice whether she was or was not out and about. But do you think, I mean, do you think she's just now wanting to be open about all of these issues for a different reason?
I mean, clearly with working royals, frontline royals, if you like obviously the King and the Waleses, they have public programmes, public duties, and the public does have a right to know if they're not turning up, and they don't like letting people down, which is why they need to explain why they can't attend certain things, why public engagements, pre-arranged things. I mean, these things tend to be organised months in advance, and they, as I said, they hate letting people down, but they want to make it clear that there is a reason they won't be turning up to open X, Y, or Z, and that's how it goes. I mean, that was always the way under the late Queen. I mean, she didn't like details of her health out in the public domain at all, but understood that if she was going to cancel engagements, then that obviously needed to be made public. With the Duchess of York, I mean, she's not a public figure. She's not on the royal payroll. She's obviously a very well-known public person. But I think what we've seen really in the last few years is this tendency for celebrities, sports personalities, now royalty, if they are undergoing some sort of health crisis or health issue, there is this greatest willingness to talk about it because it makes other people in the same situation feel they're not alone, and B, encourages people to come forward and get themselves checked out. So I think it's sort of a piece.
There is a plus side to that, isn't there? Can I ask you, we haven't got much time, I wanted to ask you also about another story that emerged at the weekend about Rule Britannia, traditionally paid, of course, at last night of the Proms. There was a row a little while ago at the BBC and last night at the Proms. People say, oh, we don't want to play that because, it's jingoism. No, it's a bloody fantastic song, and it's just a wonderful moment at last night of the Proms. But the Sussexes, that's Prince Harry and Meghan, their wedding cellist, who was much, I mean, celebrated on the day, Cheku Kane Mason, he performed at the age of 19 at the event. He said that it should be axed because he says, some people don't realise how uncomfortable a song like that can make a lot of people feel. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, we always have every year this debate about the contents of the last night of the Proms. It's come early this year. It's usually a sort of late summer story when the conductor, who's usually from very celebrated conductor from maybe not from Britain, they because it's obviously a completely global event, says, "Hang on, I don't really want to include this song," or maybe let's take out Land of Hope and Glory. It's usually actually Land of Hope and Glory that gets it in the neck more than Rule Britannia. I mean, it's a bit like the debate you get over people saying they don't want to get an honour if it's called the Order of the British Empire because it's got imperial connotations.
Well, don't have
I mean,
one.
it's a debate. Let's have it. I'm entirely comfortable with Rule Britannia.
If only we did still rule the waves, Robert, the world would be a better place. That's what I say.
Need a few more ships for
that don't crash into each other. Meanwhile, talking not on the waves, Harry has got this award for being a helicopter pilot, but again, hanging out with sort of, okay, there were some A-listers like John Travolta and Jeff Bezos, but otherwise a pretty B-list event, paying to, a pay event. This is the level they have fallen to, but there we are. Robert Harmon, so good to speak with you. Wish it be a bit longer. Author of Charles III, New King, New Court, The Inside Story. Right, well, sadly, time is a little up with us.